Hey everybody. Today we're going to talk a little bit about what an asset recovery business is, what that kind of looks like, and more specifically we're getting into overages, sometimes called excess funds. So there's a lot of different ways that people retrieve funds, because usually when we're talking about assets uh, in this case, we're talking about money. We're usually talking about funds. Now, I personally have done this in a variety of ways, but typically the way I help my clients is usually by retrieving overages from the government and getting those back to them. So what is an overage? An overage is kind of what it sounds like. It's extra money that came from a house that was foreclosed on, that was sold at auction for more money than what was owed the bank. Now, what that means is that it doesn't typically belong to any one person per se. Now, we all know who the money usually should go back to, but a lot of times it requires court hearings or probate or certain steps within the courts in order to have a judge release it on behalf of myself or to my clients. So basically it is a bit of a process. As I mentioned, it does have to be released. And this is different than an unclaimed fund. Now, an unclaimed fund typically is like, for example, a paycheck that you never deposited from a previous employer or something to that effect. Usually those are posted and listed online. It has your name attached to it. So if it was a check that was meant to go to you, you find this on various websites, you type your name, it comes up, you prove to them that you are who you say you are, and they give it to you. One of the main differences I've found with overages is that a court isn't necessarily going to try to find you. In fact, they don't try very hard at all, even when they know you are potentially the only claimant. Now, the reason for this is it has to be petitioned for. You have to go after it using their certain legal ways, especially if the person who had their home foreclosed on is currently deceased. And that's one of the types of cases I do quite often, is that a homeowner dies, the house gets foreclosed on, but they have living heirs. They have children or siblings or even a spouse. But those people typically aren't made aware of this and certainly don't know the steps necessary in order to convince a judge to release it to them. So that's typically what we do. We handle all that stuff for our clients so that they don't have to deal with it. And some of these can be a bit involved. For example, I've had cases that have taken even up to 7 and 8 months. I say that because my longest case is now at 7 months, and it's still going on. So it sometimes takes a bit of work to get money released. But that's what we specialize in. It's what we do in an asset recovery business like this. Sometimes called the overage business, so I kind of use those interchangeably. But that's basically it. Now, once we go in, the next step is we get the money released, or I suppose more specifically, the judge or magistrate sends the order to have that released. And then typically an agency will take a portion of whatever they get out for their client. And that's usually worked out based on cost, expenses, and so on and so forth. So that's done usually entirely case by case. But that's essentially it, guys. It's very simple. We assist our clients with retrieving money that is, in our opinions, owed to them and shouldn't have been made this difficult to obtain in the first place. But you know, oftentimes when dealing with courts and court systems, you have to find ways to get that money out. So very quick, very brief slideshow there, but that's what it is. That's what I personally do. If you're interested in learning how to get started in the overage business, I do teach a course on that to show you the steps you need, different tools that you need, and certainly the knowledge that goes into this with lot of experience, I can tell you that. So if you're interested, I'll have the link below. If you have been foreclosed on yourself, certainly I will have my website below as well. And you can get in contact with me personally. You'll find my cell phone is on the site. So do get a hold of us if this is something that you're interested in. And again, those of you who want to be trained to do this stuff, be happy to assist you with that. So, but that's it, guys. It's at least the surface level of this. It's about that simple. So, ask questions, leave comments if you have any, and I'd love to answer those for you. See you later, guys.